Hey everyone, this is Pat Belliveau here with Greg Bush on our video series. Today we have trumpeter, lead trumpeter, session player, BMW certified driving instructor, Jim Murray from Calgary as well. So welcome guys. How's it going?
Pat Bellivau's video series spares absolutely no expense.
Absolutely not.
In bringing in quality guests.
Well, until now.
We have the budget, we have the means, we have the ways, we have the technology. Here we are. So I'll start it off by saying, so Jim, Greg and I remember we go back to what I remember as being 1984, which was grade 11 for me. And you guys go back a number of years too, a couple decades anyway, or more?
Oh, even more than that.
2 or 3 decades, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain.
I was actually thinking of that when I was asked to do this. And I think, Greg, didn't you come to, you did a concert in grade 9 at my junior high school with Milton Williams.
Yeah, with Brian Seeley.
Yeah. So that's where, and I think you played some solo. I know that was my first like feature in front of a band. And I think you played something, some solo trumpet by Starlight or something weird like that. And then you went and talked to my parents afterwards and said, this kid has potential and look what happened. Thanks, buddy. But obviously.
Yeah, so it's my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So in grade 9, you would have been 14 then, because I always thought it was like you were 12 when I ran into you.
Yeah, and I think. Well,
but if you were in grade 9, yeah. I mean, it was a long time ago. Yeah. No, Brian had me do something at his school for like a few days or something. He got some kind of, I don't know. It wasn't like just a one-off clinic. It was like go and do a few things, and
that's right.
It seems to me that there was brass quartet music involved, so maybe I wasn't the only one. And so I ended up meeting you and hearing you play and seeing you not just a one-off, but a couple of times. So I got a good sense of like, yeah, you had some shit happening. So I don't remember talking to your parents, but if you say so, I remember taking Brian aside and saying, this kid, he needs to be encouraged. So, and then I put together a bunch of shit and I gave it to him in an envelope to give to you. And we had this conversation years ago. You said you still had it. So
yeah,
I think you said the envelope was still sealed though, that you never bothered opening it. So.
Oh, you too? Really? Okay.
Yeah. I wonder what happened. Yeah, I wonder what happened to Brian Seeley.
Well, on one of our hangs here with Pat, I was reminding him of the time that, and now the Jack Singer was fairly new and it was around the Olympics and shit like that. And Music Fest Canada was in Calgary. Okay. I think it was all connected. And the Boss Brass was the guest band. And they did a session in the afternoon, like a clinic in the afternoon, concert. And then a bit of a clinic and questions and answers. And I remember the band, for the most part, they were sitting on the stage with their legs dangling over. And I remember a couple of things. I remember somebody asking Guido why he didn't play high notes more and shit like that. And I mean, Guido's just a consummate gentleman, right? He wouldn't bust the kids' chops over that. But he was like, oh, that's a good question. He says, I play a little bit above the staff or when I'm soloing and shit like that. And he's like, nudges Ernie, and he goes, why would I want to play high notes or play lead? I think the kid said, do you ever play any lead? Why would I want to play lead when I'm sitting next to this guy here that's got it covered,
Yeah.
And they had beer. And Brian Seeley wrote a letter of complaint to Music Fest saying, what kind of an example was the band setting by having beer on the stage?
Setting them up for the future.
Say again, what was that?
Setting them up for the future.
Totally, there you go. So, other than that, he's probably retired.
Yeah.
He's my age. He's probably a little older than me.
Okay. Yeah.
Because around that time, I would have been late 20s, maybe 30. Well, maybe he was around my age.
Okay.
What year would this have been that this was all happening?
When what?
When like you were saying this concert and when you played the solo at in junior high and all that stuff.
Oh, well, I guess I was 14. If I'm 14, grade 9, so well, shit. So early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I moved there in 1980, and it was close to when I first started doing clinics and stuff like that, because it would have taken me at least a year to meet people and get my name out and everything. So, but I remember that he was one of the first ones that had me go in there a couple of times.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Me? I'm 51.
Yeah. 51. So you're right behind Pat.
Yeah.
I just turned 54.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be turning 52. So, yeah, I knew we were a couple of years apart. And then I noticed you guys did your other little video thing had Russ Broom on it.
He was our first one.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny because I was flipping through old photos, cleaning up photo albums and putting them digital, or before we moved and all that kind of stuff. And I found a picture of Russ Broom in the band room at Scarlet, because we were in the same band together, Russ and I, at Scarlet.
Was you guys in the same grade?
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Maybe not, but we were in the same band, so maybe
right.
Grade 11s and 12s.
And then I would have met Russ right after that, because I met him at the university in one of the university jazz bands. He played in the UC band for a bit.
Yeah, and so I wonder where I met you, Pat, because I think it was before prime time, because I know I played in, I don't know if it was the blue band or the red band with Warren Rowley.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was in both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. There was that, wasn't there? Yeah.
The white band.
Yeah. There was that too.
That was the one I did when I was a grad student there, and they gave me that as part of the TA kind of thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Make sure they play white. Yeah.
The things that we do, the things we suffer through in the name of jazz and music. God.
Did you guys start doing the lesson thing? Because right after that Milton Williams grade 9 thing you were talking about, or was it right around that time? Or
yeah, I think it was like right after that, because I remember my parents talking to me and they were saying, well, let's do it. So, and I think we were driving up to your place, Greg, like, was it off Edmonton Trail or something like that? I just remember going downstairs into the basement and teaching down in a room down in
Center Street. It was in between Center and 4th, right? That one?
Yeah, it was on 26th Avenue. It was I remember the address. It was 226 26th Avenue Northwest.
There you go.
So yeah, it's possible that you went out on Edmonton Trail and then started heading west. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Pat was there. Martine was there. Jared was there probably, or maybe Jared was only before I moved there. I remember Jared coming to my house with his dad to buy, I was selling a Bach trumpet because I bought a large board and I ended up not digging it. And Jared came with his dad and they bought it.
Okay. So yeah, we did the lesson things for quite a while, actually. When did you move away, Greg?
I moved away from there in 1989.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we must have done it the whole run, I think.
Yeah, and then I remember when you were in the band at Scarlet too. Now, were you there ever with Potter or only with Cease?
No, Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn was his first name, was it not? Glenn Potter?
Yeah.
EP Scarlet High School.
Yeah.
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 And then was Cease there too while you were there, or no?
Yeah, Cease was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Glenn Potter was the choir director, but he did some music stuff too.
Oh, that's right. So they were there together.
They were there together.
The first time I went to Scarlet to do a workshop, he was the band teacher.
Okay, yeah, and they were kind of transitioning-ish, I think, in my first couple of years. And then, yeah, he was doing the choir. And then, do you remember his hands? He had a propane tank blow up in his hands on his camper. And it fused his fingers together. So he couldn't play piano anymore after that.
That's right. I remember hearing about that.
Blew up in his face, and he, naturally you go to cover your face. And
Jesus, that's right.
Yeah.
Cease lives out here.
Yeah.
I've seen her once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she lives south of here near Ladysmith, and I was doing a gig just a little bit south of that, which of course is shut down now because of the situation. But it was like a Sunday afternoon jazz thing at a pub, and been going for a couple of years. And they same the way you guys do prime time. It's like from September to June,
Yeah.
And I was playing a gig there. First thing you know, Cease comes over to me, and Dave Grimstead and Kathy Ramsey.
Oh.
I was like, the hell are you guys doing here? Cease goes, well, we live here. Kathy's just visiting. She wants to live here.
Wow.
Yeah. And I haven't seen her since.
Okay. Huh.
And then, you guys will get a kick out of this. Well, I'm going to go for it. So, because this is out there. So anyway, Dave Klinger's
Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be discreet. So Dave Klinger's out here, right? You guys know Klinger.
Yep.
Yes.
So he keeps in touch with Grimstead, and with a saxophone / flute player of renown in Calgary. And he was coming out with his wife and hanging out, and Klinger was speculating that maybe they want to move here. So there was talk of doing some house party, and can't remember exactly the details, but some kind of like a little house party or a little gig or whatever. And they wanted to know if Klinger was interested. And Klinger kind of knew the story. He goes, well, I'm interested. He says, but only if I'd like to use Greg. And we do this little concert together. And Grimstead goes, that's not going to happen. It's like, that would be way too uncomfortable and too awkward. We're not going to go there. Oh, and Dave was like, then I'm not interested. Because he doesn't dig that other person too much either. So when Klinger was telling me, I was like, you did that on purpose, didn't you? He's like, of course I did. He said, I wanted to stir the pot a little bit. I was like, I'm proud of you. So yeah.
Huh.
Too funny.
So
and then there's you guys are gonna love this one. I'll try and maintain a sense of discretion. So another musician of dubious credentials contacts me, and let's say that he plays an instrument that 2 out of 3 people here in this Zoom meeting play, and he wants to do a concert out here. I guess he heard that we had Robert Young come out. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Robert Young came out because he's got his wife's family. Yeah, his wife has family out here in Ladysmith, so they could stay pretty cheap. And he wanted to come and do his Frank Sinatra thing. So I played a pretty good rehearsal band. There's some very good players in it. So we could easily play those Sinatra chars. It's not a big deal. A rehearsal or 2 at the most. We had that shit covered. So we did a concert in Calgary at the concert hall that was it was a success. I think the person who promoted it made money. The band got paid properly, and Robert Young got a decent amount of money, and everybody was happy. And at the same time that we did one in Victoria, and it wasn't as well attended. There was too many other concerts close by and stuff. It was poorly attended, but I think the promoter kind of broke even, and the band got paid, and I think Robert Young got paid okay. So of course, Robert Young and this other person who shall remain nameless, it's my understanding they're good friends. So Robert wanted to bring his musical director with him. And I was like, nah, we don't need a musical director. So I'm more than capable and more than competent to do this. And of course, the guys in the band, because they knew it was my connection and stuff, we're totally self-directed. Nobody gets up in front of the band and directs it. Although a couple of times when we did concerts of my music, they're like, you need to stand up front. We'll get somebody to cover your part in section. So they knew that I have the skills to do this, right? So I told Robert, I said, no, we're going to save the dough, man. And I'll do it. So anyway, the word's out that there's a possibility of gigs out here for doing this type of thing. So of course I get contacted, and I told them it would cost $6,000 for the big bid. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I put $200 or $300 for the gig, $100 for the rehearsals. So I don't know, dude, we'll figure out 20 guys divided, and girls, for, just so in case SW is watching. There are girls in the band. Well, one. And she's the wife of one of the. No, I'm totally having fun. But no, she's a freaking riot. And I lost my train of thought.
You're being like Donald Trump, Greg. Come on, stop it.
So well, I don't know what's what's $6,000 divided by 20 or divided by 17.
Yeah.
Never got a response after I quoted the money, right? I knew I would have been shocked had I got a response. So anyway, I let a few weeks go by, or a couple of months even. And then I was scrolling through my, I think it was through Messenger, through Facebook. And I was scrolling through and I was like, oh yeah, he never did reply. So I sent it to him again. I was like, what's up with this concert that you want to do, man? I was like, I never heard from you. So he wrote back and he's like, oh, for Pete's sake, I totally missed your response. Right. Yeah. Because we're gonna take all the risk. We're gonna rent the hall. We're gonna pay him his fee out of our pocket. And then if it tanks, we're holding the bag. Hell no. He's going to take the risk. He's going to pay the band. And if anybody's going to tank on it, it sure as hell isn't going to be us, right? So, too funny.
FYI, Zoom just notified me that I have about 5.5 minutes on this meeting.
Yeah, I saw that too. It says remaining meeting time. I don't know.
Yeah, which that's never happened to me before, but.
Sometimes, yeah, that's happened to me, and then sometimes it just continues. Otherwise, you just kind of got to log out and log on again.
Mm-hmm. Just so you know, we're at 5 minutes and 20 seconds left, according to them. So,
yes.
Anyway, I don't think there's any danger of that shit going out there and anybody figuring it out, because why would people like that want to watch us three kibitzing over Zoom? So.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Well,
as we'll all agree, musicians need to be paid properly.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a living.
Exactly.
It's an adventure too.
Yep.
Oh dear.
So, Jim, what did you do after high school?
Well, yeah, I think I know Greg and I talked a lot about it at that time, and I was going to go into music, but I just wanted to be a player and private teach and all that maybe, but I didn't want to, go and teach at a school or anything. He's like, so why bother, take lessons and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much what I did. I did a whole bunch of private lessons. I got a full-time job, and music was just a side thing for me. For a long time, but lots of lessons, for sure, with various different people. So that's kind of where I spent a tuition, so to speak, was just doing all that, type of stuff. And then started doing some private teaching. And then I met Dave Jones, like in 91, I think. So 3 years after I graduated. And then we started running the Band of Outriders, the Stampede, and then I started subbing in at Primetime. After that.
Well, Who would have been playing lead prior to you?
Jan.17.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I officially took over when he moved to Vegas, because I was just subbing before that.
And was Foley in that band?
Yep. Yeah.
Not the guitarist that played with Miles, but Dave Foley, trumpeter. Just wanted to clarify that.
Exactly. Yeah, Dave Foley and I, we split lead when Dan left, or we were splitting lead a lot. And then when Dan officially left, it was kind of the two of us at the start.
Is Foley still around? How's he doing? Does anybody know?
Don't know. He's still around, but I don't know what he's doing.
I haven't seen him in a long time either. Long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Jim, you have a sponsorship with Wedge Mouthpieces or something too. Is that right? Or
yeah.
An endorsement? Did I get that right? Wedge?
Yep. Yeah. The Wedge mouthpiece. Yeah. So that kind of happened in the ITG, the International Trumpet Guild.
Yeah.
When was that? 2006?
I thought it was 2008.
Maybe that was 2008. Yeah. So that started then, the relationship with them. So yeah. So that's been a great relationship, actually.
You have a signature mouthpiece too?
Yeah, we have a lead one and a legit one and a cornet and flip-horn.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Complete line of them. Yeah. So yeah, no, they're wonderful. I love them. Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. And then Yamaha, I guess Yamaha was kind of talking to me after the ITG as well, for horns. Greg, of course, and but I was playing the Jan.17 Destino, the 5-star, and I loved it and didn't want to give it up. But Yamaha was nice. After that, we finally discussed things, and yeah, so now I'm playing both Yamaha and trumpet and flugel.
Cool.
So all three of us are Yamaha now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Steve. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, those are the two guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got less than a minute, it says. So.
Well, you want to wrap this segment up and start another one?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So.
And if it's a problem, I can do one. Or it sounds like Jim's got an account too, so one of us could do it.
Yeah, but I think what happens if it's not a pro account, like if you don't pay for it, then if it's more than one person, you only get 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Okay, bye-bye.